Welcome to the Melanin Movement, where melanin magic meets meaningful discussions. Join our all-family cast as we dive into hot topics and important issues for the Black community. Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of the Melanin Movement podcast. I'm Kaya, one of your hosts, and I'm here with my fellow co-hosts. As always, the first one in was Shauna. And next was the handsome, suave, and debonair Chris. And last but not least, bringing up the rear, the stylish EVE. So, today we're going to talk about a topic that is taboo, because you see how we introduced ourselves and we were all proper, and this is something that we do as Black folk damn near everywhere we go. And it's basically about the cost of fitting in all types of spaces. So when we're at work, the way that we speak at home, the way we speak to our family, the way that we speak to one another is drastically different than the way that we speak to each other. So at work, as Eve said, we use our R's and our E's at the end of words. Where at home, most of the words ends with an A. Yes.
An A.
Most of the words, yes, sister, brother, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Nigga, you know, ninja, you know. That's how we do. But when these things happen, or when we code switch, as they call it, do you feel that you are selling out?
No,
I don't think it's selling out.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's what we have to do for survival in the workforce to be taken. You know, we don't always own the company. So you starting as the receptionist or the admin or one of those jobs to work up, to work your way up. I don't think it's selling out. There is a thing called just being professional.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So do you feel that being professional
is selling out? No.
Well, do you feel that being professional is code switching because you can't be your authentic self? Because if you're at home and you are like, hey, so-and-so, bring me a so-and-so and so. That's not.
I think it's just like Shauna says, like professionalism, and also it's just proper grammar as well. Like as a culture, we have a dialect. Everybody has a dialect. So right. I just consider that as like our dialect of how we just, communicate to each other, because we're also just extra, and how you go everywhere else, they have their certain, languages that they speak within their own group or so. So I don't think it's like selling out. I just think we're just, there's a time and place for everything.
I think to expound upon that, there was there was an episode of The Office in which there was a pretty applicable quote where he goes, like when you come to work in certain contexts, when you speak to people, there's like a verbal dress code, so to speak.
Right.
So like to speak like how you would at home would be the dress equivalent of coming to work in your underpants, essentially. If you talk like how you talk at home, or you talk with your friends in a place of professionalism or a place of business, that's like the verbal equivalent of coming unprepared to work.
And so don't get me wrong,
a Black thing, but
yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's a couple of times you'll catch me saying to my boss, girl.
That's right. I do it all the time, girl.
Right. My boss will be like, Yvette, do you know? I'm like, child, I don't know where that is.
But ready to start my own business. I want a loan. I want to go get a home loan. If I'm going to the bank, I'm not going to be like, bruh, I need you to give
Run
me
me
this,
my
run me
money.
that money. No, no, you don't do
Amen.
that. Hey man,
Amen. Amen.
like I really need you to
Let me hold something.
let me hold
But
something.
just
Let
for
me
one
hold
rib.
something.
No, just give me one rib.
Just give me one
No.
rib.
So like I just think no, there is no such thing to me. If I'm speaking in a business, like if I'm giving them a presentation, I need to use my news voice, and there wasn't
You're Rosanna Scotto?
right.
Mhm.
That's just something I think that everyone does. That's just me.
And the thing that I think is like the most messed up part is we'll do all of this and we'll still be a nigga in their eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will always go back to that story of me at my old job, being professional as ever, helping my guests, because it was a high prestigious event space where we had to come in our uniforms every single day. We had to be clean and all of this stuff. The word clean looking, we couldn't really do all of this stuff for the most part and everything before they made like the whole Crown Act and whatever. But at the end of the day, I was still called that by one of my guests, regardless of how professional and educated or so I sounded. And that's the messed up part.
And see I think that's the point that I want to make, is that can you be your authentic self wearing your hair, Eve, as your natural? Or do you second guess getting a certain hairstyle because you're just like, I don't know if that would.
Never, never, ever, ever, ever. I've worn the Afro puff, I've worn braids, and I am always me. Now it's what me. I may be more, like if I'm in a meeting, I may speak in a different, I may use my INGs more and my ERs more, but I'm always me. I'm always me. And I won't let any meeting or business or my home loan, I was always me.
I think that in my corporate experience, I know for a fact that I was definitely cognizant of my hairstyles, everything that I wore, and how I put myself together, even the perfume, because I was with the executive groups and the CEOs and the SVPs and the EVPs and stuff like that, and I was dealing directly with them. I definitely watched my hair, my braids, if I did have braids, how I styled it, you know what I'm saying? Because of the corporate position that I was in. So, maybe it's just me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
But
I
I
had to
did.
think about too.
Yeah.
I've gone to work.
I would never.
Yeah,
I
I
I
would
would
never.
never.
I wouldn't be.
like
I
I go
wouldn't
to
be able
work
to do it
like this.
at my job now, for sure. For sure, you'll get
I
that.
go like this.
But when I was at the other
Yeah.
spot, oh, I wasn't. We were not. Even like some of the corporate events that I sing at, like we'll come how we are dressed, because sometimes it's a bunch of Black singers, you know what I'm saying? We come like this and they're like, we need more of a clean look, like it's just, and we're like, what is clean?
Clean.
I took a shower today.
I'm clean. Like I bathe. Like I put on some
What you talking about?
deodorant.
You know what I'm saying?
This is banned right here. This is banned.
I wash my hair, you know what I'm saying? But it's I think it's just sometimes the clientele or who you're dealing with, it's the environment you're in, unfortunately.
Do you feel like that where you are, Chris?
No, but I think it's environmentally based. Like you
Mhm.
will feel more comfortable in certain job spaces than you will in others. Like the trades is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Like they really don't care what you look like. They're more so interested in
The
can you
product.
do this efficiently because it's going to get me money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they're not looking at what hairstyle you have. They're
Right,
looking at can you do the job right? You know what I
right.
mean?
Mhm.
Corporate spaces, they're more so aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're looking for a certain look, regardless of whether or not it's, you know, culturally normal. They're looking for more what fits their
Mm.
look, if that makes sense. So you kind of have to abide by that in order to appease them. If you know.
Well,
But
remember the Crown Act was started because of
mhm.
people like Eve. You know what I'm talking about? People like Eve because of the fact that they don't see our natural hair as clean or professional or you know what I'm saying or mainstream. They see, who we are authentically as an other. And I think that's what I'm really trying to get at.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. I just don't think that's my
That's
experience.
not your testimony.
That's not my testimony. Now, if it was a board meeting, I won't be dumb in a hoodie. Not because I'm not being myself. It's just, it's a board meeting. So I'm going to dress as if I'm going to a board meeting. But if it's a Tuesday at work,
Yeah,
like I could look like this.
yeah. As I said, I don't think it's I don't like the connotation for what code switching is.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
I
saying? I
just
think
don't
it's
think
just a
it's the
matter of
same
knowing your
because,
audience, right?
yeah,
Like you're not like it's
Like
what
I'm not gonna.
yeah, like whatever I look like, it's not going to change my beliefs, right? So
right.
it's just going to change the delivery of the beliefs. Like depending on
Mhm.
who's in front of me, I'm not going to deliver the message the same way to different people. You know what I mean? People need to get the message in the way that's appropriate for them. In the
Mhm.
corporate setting, I have to use a certain vernacular to get my point across so that it's effective. If I'm on the block, I can't use that same vernacular because the
Mhm.
block has to understand me. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So it depends on where you are and how you act depends on where you are. So it's not necessarily code switching, but again,
Yeah, I just think,
adapting to your environment.
yeah.
Well, just remember that the Crown Act was created because of discrimination in the workplace and in schools. So there
Mhm.
have been kids that have been, I think, on wrestling teams and stuff like
Yeah,
that
they had to take
that
out their
have had
hair.
locks, or,
Totally.
and
They
they
had
were
to
just
take out their
like,
hair
and then
real quickly.
you see their white teammates undoing
Open.
their hair to you know what I'm saying, and that's just demoralizing to the nth degree. It's
But
just
that's
like
not them having to code switch. That is the people, that's the team, that's the system.
Right.
That's
Mhm.
not the person. They go in with lots because that's who
they
they
are,
and
yeah,
then some people
have
will
an issue with
leave
that.
and they'll quit because they are being their authentic self. So again, I don't think it's on the individual, it's the
Mhm.
system that
System.
needs to change.
You don't get no, you preaching to the choir, you don't
No,
get
I know,
no.
no, I'm just saying that it's not the individual.
But it's the individual that in turn feels like after this happens, because that is something that is heartbreaking, and it literally will change the
Mhm.
fabric of your character. And then if you want to be a part of the team, these people, the teammates, are your family. Y'all have built this team, that and you want to go to finals or championships or whatever it is, and the next time you go, now you're going to have to change who you are just to fit into the stereotype, if you will, that they have for you so that you can play the game.
But
Right.
that doesn't mean that the person isn't still being their authentic self. It's if I want to go to the if I want to be on this team, that there are certain rules that I have to follow to be on this team. Now, if what the system is saying that you can't have this, you can't wear this, you must wear a suit. I remember when the NBA started to make all the players wear suits.
Because AI,
Right.
because he was being his authentic self, and that was not up to their standards.
Exactly. But he's okay. But then when he put on a suit, that didn't mean he still wasn't his authentic self. Me wearing my hair straight, me wearing this, me wearing braids, I am always my authentic self. So I think it's more so let's do what we need to do to change the system.
I agree.
And so if I change or if I now use my professional voice, that doesn't mean I'm still not me.
So, question: do you feel that when Black women wear weaves that are blonde, platinum, do you feel that they are giving into or pandering to the European stereotype of beauty?
Well, I think I'm the only one here who's ever really been blonde. No,
I've been blonde.
Oh, you've been blonde. Oh, yeah, that's right,
Mhm.
Chris. You were blonde. That's right. I forgot.
I've been blonde.
But okay, now I think that is more of an individual thing. I didn't do it or start
I
doing
was
it.
blonde too.
I didn't start to do it because I wanted to fit into the white world. I started doing it because I wanted to look like Faith Evans. Like that's why I wanted to do it. It had nothing right, like that's why I wanted to do it. It had nothing to do with anybody white. I wanted to look like Mary and I wanted to look like Faith. So that was blonde, that was red. But it had nothing to do with the white world.
It was what you saw from
It's what I saw
the culture.
Yeah, it was that. I don't go with what they do. I'm going with what my hood does. So when it was all the girls wore the baggy clothes and Timbs, I wore the baggy clothes and Timbs. It had right. So, but again, that's me. That's the individual. I'm sure there are some who do to fit in, but that's not my testimony.
And sometimes for me, I don't even wear blonde that much because I don't want to look something other than what I'm supposed to look like as a Black woman, as a light-skinned Black woman. I was at work one day, this at my job now, and this Black lady, I had on my blonde wigs because I love a good wig, and I was looking at one on Amazon right before I got on this. But anyway, and she's just like, "Oh, I love this blonde on you. You just look like my little white girl. You just look like a little white girl." I was like, I swear that next day I came in with this, and I was just like, absolutely not. But it's just
Was it the same one that told you that she didn't like your hair? Was it the same security guard?
No.
Oh.
And half of the time it's just these old bitter hags that don't have anything to do with themselves. But anyway, it's just more the fact that it's just like, why can't I just wear it because I like it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do I have to be considered a white girl because I'm a light-skinned woman. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Blame it on the ancestors. I can't help it. But why do I gotta blame it on them? I can't help it. But it's just like, why can't we just do something because we just enjoy it?
So, lastly, if you see a white Asian, because there's so many people that are not quote unquote black that the black Twitter or whomever says that they're appropriating, they're culturally appropriating us. So if you see, like they said, Bruno Mars was appropriating. If you see a black or Asian person with locks, because I've seen plenty.
Right.
Do
To
you
me, that's
feel
weird. To me, that's weird.
It's just weird.
Like white people with locks all have the same characteristics.
They're hippie.
I'm just saying, they all do the same type of stuff, and it's not coincidence. You know what I'm saying? It's not coincidence. They do stuff like slacklining and you know,
what's
Spelunking.
slacklining?
You know when you walk across a rope tied to two trees?
Oh, I didn't know it.
That's because it's white people with dreadlock stuff. That's why you don't know. That's why you don't know about it.
Of course you wouldn't know it because you're not a white person.
You're not a white person.
You wouldn't know it.
Of course you don't know about it.
Obviously.
So if like a coworker, sorry, go ahead.
No, I remember when we went to Florida and we were we met some of our family. Remember the cousin that was Asian?
Yeah, the Asian
And
Jamaican.
He opened his mouth. He
Like,
said,
what the I said, wait.
like bonjour. I was just like,
they make you? Like,
but the thing was, he was stone cold Jamaican. But
as Dr. Umar said, that's because we let anybody in our countries. Anybody's allowed in our countries. That's why we got Chinese Jamaicans, Indian Jamaicans. We got all of them because we just let everybody in. That's what Dr. Umar said. But yeah.
Jamaican is crazy.
Yeah, and he whatever. I said.
I think Chris was like 9.
And he was young.
I need to experience that now. I have so many questions.
And
I mean, when we finally do get to go back to Florida, because it got to be after DeSantis is out of office. That's the only time you're going to be able to see him, because we got to go back to Florida or we got to go to Jamaica. Mm-hmm. Either one. So if you're in the workplace and one of your white counterparts, colleagues, comes to you and calls you brother or sister.
There's this lady came to me, and I was with me and my coworker in my office, right? And a lot of the higher ups, of course, are white or so. So this is like an older white lady. And I think she thought she had a friend. So she came over to us. We're talking, me and my coworker, we're talking about work. And she comes over talking about something, and then she brings up Little John. And I'm just like, and she was like, yeah. She said it mad loud in the whole office. I did like that. And all I could do is just bust out laughing, because I'm just like, what made you think that it was okay to do all of this stuff? We're just sitting here shocked. And she was just like, yeah. And I'm like, no.
Because they think that you automatically are down with the Little John click. Like,
I think it depends on the relationship that you have. Like, one of our clients, she's a Scorpio. She's a white woman. And when we see each other, we say, hey, my Scorpio sister, because she's born like around the same time as me. So, but it's
a sister or sister?
Sister.
She says sister.
Yes. Okay, just asking.
Yes, she does say sister. But that's the relationship we've built over the last few years. It
Right.
wasn't like she just started it. It was because we grew to be cool. And then we started to talk about, our own stuff. And then we found out our birthdays were a few days apart. And so it was a slow build. It wasn't like there's nobody that I work with or that I don't have a relationship with that would ever walk up to me and say,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was so loud, so loud. I felt,
They would
and y'all
not.
know I hate being secondhand embarrassed. Y'all know I have that I hate secondhand embarrassment because it doesn't sit well in my spirit. I really get anxiety from that. Like,
Not secondhand embarrassment.
I hate that. Like, it don't even be me. I just feel so awkward. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, no.
I think it depends on who it's coming from.
Yeah.
Like, are you the dude from Drumline with the big drum? You know what I'm saying? You like black people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or you could be Hulk Hogan, brother. Like, it's
Yeah.
genuine. Like, Hulk Hogan calls his mother brother. You know what I'm saying? It depends. Like, when somebody's being like passive aggressive and when somebody's being like real. You know what I'm saying? So it depends. It depends.
Well, I thank God for the white girlfriend that I have, that I can talk just like this with her and ain't no problem.
Yeah,
I'd be
exactly.
I do
like,
that with my
child,
boss.
girl,
I do that
you
with my
know.
boss.
So, one person that they said was pandering and trying to fit in is Kamala Harris. They're saying that when she goes when she goes and has a campaign event with Latinos, that all of a sudden she's que linda. When she speaks to the black delegate, she's Serena. When she speaks to the Indian delegate, then she's, you know, what I'm saying? So they say she code switches in every event.
That's their own insecurities. The girl went to an HBCU. She went to Howard. She's always been black. Stop it.
It said that they feel that she just, as Trump also said, that she's turning black in order to pander to, us.
And we're believing.
Trump said it. Candace Owens said it. Lord Jamar said it.
Okay.
A lot. Jamar Wright said it.
And look at all the people that you just mentioned.
And my thing about it is just like my thing when it comes to that, and me and my boyfriend was just talking about that. So
Who?
as we all know, my boyfriend was just talking about that.
Oh, okay.
So my thing about it, right, is like, okay, all of us we have Black American, shut up, Kai. We're Black American, we're Jamaican, right? Or so when we go over to our Jamaican side, we connect to our Jamaican side. And we just, it's just more of like we're just adapting to our environment at that moment. Like, it's just like, I don't think it changes kind of us in a way. It's just when we go over to our Black American side, we adapt to that side. I don't think it's like a change or whatever she's doing in a way, if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
I'm
just reporting what was being said recently,
right,
because this is really like a source of contention. Even Tariq Nasheed, questioning her blackness. Janet Jackson obviously questioned her blackness.
You let me know when Roland Martin says something. Let me know when Bakari Sellers says something. You let me know when Tamika Mallory says something. All of these other people.
Man, play devil's advocate here. Can we agree and I'm not saying I pick any particular stance. I'm just trying to speak to the minds of people that may disagree with said sentiments.
Mhm.
So, can we agree that political pandering does exist?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Okay. As long as we're in agreement or in
Oh,
agreement on
yeah,
that, that can be a fundamental
definitely.
baseline for the rest
Totally,
of the.
definitely. But it only happens, they said the same thing about Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Well, they also said that he turned black when he decided that he wanted to go all the way. That's why he got with the dark skinned sister, because before then he was dating white women. He was raised by a white woman. He doesn't identify or connect to his black side because he was raised with the white side, and because of the fact
said this? Who
this
said
was Pierce Morgan, Lord Jamar.
again.
But
I
who?
think this speaks to a larger issue, though. I don't think this is merely
Totally does.
Trump saying that Kamala is pandering to whoever, right? But I think that any other race feels comfortable enough authenticating how black somebody is because
Who are
we do it.
you? Yep.
Because we do it.
I was
So
just
when
about to say that.
exactly, so when you go to even certain West Indian, cultures, they will say, I'm this, I'm not black.
Yes.
Yeah.
Weirdest
African.
thing to me.
Indigenous Africans that are not born in America but are born in Africa and then they migrate over here, they always say, you black Americans. Oh my, you remember my girlfriend that lived across the street?
Mhm.
She would always say, you black Americans, you black I'm like,
Yeah,
girl.
that gave me them.
Yes. That yes.
We would just,
You black Americans.
and it's like, how can you tell me what
I
like am
am.
I? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're a Yankee or so, you're not a Jamaican or whatever. I'm like, my lineage and stuff comes from all of these things, and I'm gonna represent that. They're not here. So what do you so let's cut this short. So okay, what was your grandmother? Oh, they was this. What was your great grand? They was this. Okay, so my same grandmother and stuff were all this. They're just not here. So because they're not here or so like that, I can't represent that lineage of what I have because of the fact that they're no longer alive. Then how can we sit there and say know your roots and everything if we have to cut it down at a certain point because we don't fit the narrative of what you believe it to be? Right. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Like we arguing over fundamentally speaking crumbs, right? Because it's just like it doesn't matter whether you're Jamaican, Haitian, Dominican, brother. It was just where you were dropped off at.
That's all I'm saying.
Which
It
stop,
was
which stopper you at?
it was the origin a country that got the ship,
That's
picked
it.
you up, bought you, and then dropped you off where they wanted to drop you off. That's
So
all.
who am I to say that we're all these different groups or so are better than each other? We're not better than each other.
Same thing. It's just which, depending on where you got dropped off, was dependent on what colony, not what colony, what country colonized you.
Yeah.
Hence why Haitians speak French. Hence
French.
why,
They don't speak French, they
probably.
speak Creole.
but it's a
They
dialect
still
of
speak
Yeah,
French.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
I know what
that's
you meant.
when they got their independence, it was from these imperialist countries.
Right.
Jamaica, from what was it, the Dutch or English?
British, remember?
British.
They was like they told Queen Elizabeth when she was still alive, say you're sorry. They had a sign say you're sorry. But yeah, they was just like, we don't want you here. We want our independence. We want reparations.
But then
yeah.
when it comes to the others, we all have to stand together. Then we're all black.
Right.
Yeah. When it's an injustice, we're all black. Come on, we got to band together.
Right.
We need each other. We all we got.
How can you sit there and expect someone to pull in ties for you, but when it comes to each other, we stand there against each other? Like,
on that note, thank you for watching the Melanin Movement. Don't forget to subscribe and watch us on YouTube TikTok, Instagram, and sometimes the Twitter. And you can also listen to us on podcasts, Spotify, and others. To my co-host, EVE, Chris, Shauna Dawn, I'm Haya.